My story time today is about a neurotic, narcissistic friend who lived with my friend Steve. They lived in an apartment together, and I had a long commute, so during the week I stayed with them for a while I looked for a new place. I bunked on their couch and paid $300 a month for the privilege. Steve was a very nice guy. I've known him for quite a while. We got along really good, and I knew Jake almost as long, and it was Jake's apartment first. He lived there alone, but he needed a roommate, so he asked Steve to live with him. So the first week I stayed there, things were pretty uneventful. We had a decent week. We got along. Listened to music, watched TV, and just had a really good time together. But one night we decided to do some laundry, so we went to the laundromat and we washed our clothes. Things were pretty okay. I did notice that Jake was a little anal retentive about just about everything in the laundromat, like making sure the insides of the machines had no residue of soap from other people and things like that. And he had a system that he did. He measured the laundry detergent as if he was in a lab working over test tubes, putting it in the cycle at different times, and had a stopwatch, not a stopwatch, but did the timer on his phone so he could see when the laundry should be done. So I found that rather peculiar. Steve was, that's Jake for you. We went home and Jake discovered that one of his shirts was missing, and he was tearing apart his laundry basket. Then he was tearing apart the apartment, thinking he might have forgotten to put it into his laundry basket, and just running around grumbling to himself. He asked us to check our baskets, but since we did our own laundry, it wouldn't be there, but we humored him and looked for it anyway. So then he decided he's got to go back to the laundromat and see if it's there. And he drags poor Steve with him. He was saying to Steve, "Dude, you got to come with me. I need backup." So they went to the laundromat and asked the staff there if they had seen this shirt, and no one had seen it. So he ended up getting really agitated with the staff. And then a man who was cleaning up with a broom came along, and he told them that he had thrown away a bunch of clothes that were left behind. So him and Steve decided they're going to check the bin, and Steve found the shirt. So all was okay. But then Jake was like, "Well, I gotta wash this now. It's been in the garbage with other people's clothes in a garbage bag." So he wanted to wash it, and he couldn't because they were closing for the night. He had a few choice words for them. He yelled and screamed at them. He thought they should do him the honor of letting him, wash his shirt because they had thrown it out. So he thought that he should be able to wash his shirt there. So he came home mad, but he still got his shirt back, and, but he was still not very happy. The second incident, he came into the kitchen, and Steve was working on his laptop, and he grabbed a beer from the fridge, and he's drinking a beer. Now, that's not that abnormal for him. He drank a lot of beer. That leads me to another story, the night he drank 15 beers, but that's another story for another day. So he had a beer, and he had mentioned that he took Klonopin for his back, and we said, "What? Dude, you can't be drinking beer if you took a Klonopin. Like, that's not a, very good thing to do." So he says, "Oh, I'm all right. He says, "Watch this." So he starts dancing around, then he starts hopping on one foot, and then he fell into the laptop. He chipped his tooth, he cut his lip, and he was just very angry because that happened to him. Meanwhile, the laptop is on the floor with a big chip in it, and Steve is really wanting to make sure that it works again and check it out. But he, of course, wanted Steve to go into the bathroom with him and, look at his lip and everything. That's because I can't stand the sight of blood, and I started getting queasy, and I actually turned white, and I sat down right away. Steve had to deal with him in the lip. I was checking out the laptop. The laptop seemed okay, except for this chip in the corner. So that was the end of that. So he had blood all over the bathroom, and he did not want to go to the hospital because he didn't have health insurance. Either that or he had lousy health insurance. I can't remember which. He was trying to make the bleeding stop himself, and it took several hours, but it finally did stop. The third incident, now this is all in 1 week. The third incident was the spray glue incident. He had some project going on where he had a million things out on the table. He had this bottle of spray glue and he was trying to use it, but no glue would come out. So then he starts picking at the spray glue with first his finger, and then he grabs an X-Acto knife and he's trying to pick at the opening with that. And then he takes a one of those pliers that cut. I don't know what they're called. They have you can cut wire with it. So he takes that to it, and next thing you know, the bottle explodes, and there is spray glue everywhere. It was all over the walls, all over every appliance. They were just everywhere. So we had to clean that up. That was pretty late at night, so I wasn't very happy because I had to go to work. And I'm starting to think I might be better off with my long commute. So I started staying there less and less often. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my story. My name is Elle. I have more Jake stories for you. Adventures with Jake. Until next time, I will see you soon. Bye.